So peep this. My homegirl, she got a PS4. She don't play. Like she don't play it, right?
Okay.
And so I said, yo, I'll give you $200 for it right now. Like right now. Real life. She was like, nah, it's not worth $200. I don't care. Right? She was
you
like,
just want it.
Yeah, right? I was like,
might as well save your money and get the 5 though.
Yeah, but it's for temporary.
We are back yet again. The whole gang is here. Last time everybody got to hear my amazing voice. But you know what? I'm going to let you guys talk about your amazing voices, talk about your days, introduce yourself, because I think people got enough of me. I talked for like an hour by myself last time. You know what I did, though? I actually answered. I put out a poll or a question thing on Instagram to get questions, and I answered questions the whole time. And I was surprised. We got like a bunch of questions. We got a good amount of questions. So I just opened it, but I'm going to let the real open happen through my boy Kyle. You already know he has the fire opens. He tried to open it last time, but something happened. Kyle, tell us what happened last time and then open the show for us, would you?
Yeah, man, I got you, bro. So I was very, very, very exhausted in my physical body. So
your physical body.
It's alleged that I might have caught a few sheep. You know what I'm saying? I might have caught a few.
Can I say it's not alleged? There's proof that it happened. It's not alleging. It's alleged when someone says it. We all saw it.
I wasn't, bro. I was just praying. You feel me? That's what I was doing.
Yeah. Lots of prayers going up. If you want to see a little bit of that, you can go to our last episode. The open is him falling asleep. So it was great. But I'm Chris. I'm with Kyle and Chelsea. We heard from Kyle. So Chelsea, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. I love getting on and recording these. And there's a lot of big stuff we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Batman. I know Kyle is pumped about that. If you kind of can peep the shirt, I can see the top of it. Yeah, there we go. We got the Batman. We got the bracket we want to talk about today, but we're going to start off talking about probably the biggest thing, and I guess you want to call it nerddom or whatever they call it in video games, was the Nintendo Direct happened the other day. Now, I'm probably the biggest Nintendo buff. I wore this hat. This is a Ryu Car hat. He's one of my favorite streamers. I wore this hat specifically for this moment to talk about the Direct. But the Nintendo Direct came up the other day it was probably the biggest one they've ever had. They had lots of big announcements. I'm personally going to talk about what my favorite announcements are. I'm going to let these guys chime in as well on some of the stuff, but I really had to talk about it. I was so excited for it. The biggest thing I'm excited for, and most people know this, is the new Kirby that's coming out. They showed a little more about what you can do now, because there's a lot of questions about how Kirby going to take over people if it's like the Forgotten Land and there's nothing for him to take over. They kind of showed like you will be able to still take over their powers. Plus, you can take over things like cars, take over things like lights and a vending machine, which was really odd. But like objects around this forgotten zone, you're going to be able to take over as Kirby. And that's going to help you defeat all these things. And they kind of elaborated more on that. That comes out in about a month, March 25th. We will get maybe not I will get into a deep dive of Kirby March 25th. That will be coming out. So we won't talk too much about that because we already talked about that in the last episode as well. But I think one thing, it does sound kind of cool. So it's an open world concept, 3D Kirby. Mm-hmm. And it's like this dystopian land. It's like a apocalyptic land. There's like barely any survivors there. And it's a Kirby game, which is like kind of crazy to begin with.
I mean, I like Kirby. I used to play a little bit of Kirby back in the day. So it's like, I think that's cool how you can take over like objects now instead of just taking people. And it's kind of cool though. So
yeah, and Starred Allies, people kind of fell off it a little bit. That was the newest one for the Switch. People fell off of it because it was very like teammate oriented. Like if you didn't have someone to play with, it was not as fun. And it also was not as fun overall. So like this one's kind of getting back to like the Crystal Shards type of thing, where it's like you can do solo player. It's going to have all like those original Kirby vibes to it, plus a lot of new stuff that it's going to be a lot of fun. But I think the one game that we can all be excited about, and we've all played, is they call it Switch, but we're going to call it Wii Sports, is coming to the Switch. And that is so exciting. They announced a couple of them. I'll just say tennis is on there and bowling is on there. And then a couple from Resort is on there, like volleyball, the sword fighting one, what was it, badminton, and soccer, which I want to know what that's going to look like. I don't remember soccer being in old Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort at all. Nope. But they said like there's going to be this thing you can put on your leg and like you kick, and I'm like, let's see how that works. But I think Chelsea has something to say about the soccer. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I am super excited about the soccer because for the soccer, you could play with, different people. So that's going to be super fun. The whole kicking thing, I mean, that's just going to make it feel realistic. I am a little bit upset that they didn't add the boxing. I mean, I was always a fan of
I said that
boxing
too. I wanted to take on Matt again.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with this? So fun, Matt needed to catch these hands on the Switch.
No, yeah. But I mean, Wii Sport, it looks good. It looks fun. They still have the me faces. Some of them, I don't know if you saw, like there's the newer ones, and then there's someone that you can still recognize the me faces from like the previous
good. That's good because the biggest thing that people talked about was how the Miis were completely changed. Like they were overhauled for the commercial for the most part. Like they look nothing like the old ones do. And that was like part of the Wii Sports, is you were playing with these Miis that looked ridiculous and obviously they look like little pegs almost, but like you play all these sports with them. And in addition to all those sports we just said, golf will be coming to it, which was another big one. Obviously bowling was number one. Golf and tennis were probably number two, I would say. And golf is coming to it. Yes. So golf will be there as well. I am very excited. Kyle, what sports did you play if you played some Wii Sports?
I did the boxing and the tennis. But, like, I stopped doing it just because, like, that's when I started to get, like, bigger. So it was like, big guy, tight spaces, too many people. It's not a good recipe. Aggressive alpha males everywhere. You bump them, you hit them one time. It's this whole issue.
I don't know if you guys remember on the Wii Sports, they used to have the thing where it will tell you your like sports age. Mm-hmm. You guys remember that? Like you would do all these drills, and at the end it would say like you're like a sports age, and it was like never. You could have done the same drills exactly the same each time and gotten a different age each time. Like the first time it's like you're like 22, and then next time you're 47. It's like, what? Why am I 47 now? But I wonder if they'll bring stuff like that back. I'm so excited for the tennis. I like the tennis and the golf. Well, I gotta say the bowling. The bowling is the best one. Mm-hmm. And I'm a pro at it. So like,
you're a pro at it.
Oh, I'm a pro at it. Kyle, go get a Switch. When it comes out, I'll take you on in bowling.
Whoa.
So I say that another big feature. It's going to be online.
Yes, I saw that. There's a whole bunch of different people, not just one person. It's a whole bunch of different people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll all be playing at once, and there'll be like leaderboards. It's gonna be legit. I'm very excited. I actually already pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered the Switch Sports. I pre-ordered a couple things on the day. Not only that, and I also pre-ordered Kirby. But I also pre-ordered something. And I know Chelsea's excited about this one too. We were just talking about it. Mario Strikers is coming back. That's Mario Soccer. Mario Strikers was like legit a cult classic on the GameCube. It was so good, and they barely made anything after that of Strikers, but it's going to be back. It comes back in June. I was working with Cup of Joe's podcast, which is a friend of the podcast, Joe Brown, and we were talking about like, he was like, yeah, you already know that there's going to be a sports game announced because they do that every June. Last year it was golf. Year before that was tennis. There's always a sports game announced, and this year it's Strikers. So excited, Chelsea. Did you play Strikers?
As when I was a kid, yes, but I didn't play as much though. I would always go to like my cousin's house. They would have it. But no, honestly, I'm super excited because there's a lot of FIFA fans. A lot of FIFA fans, and they're literally like doing it with just, Mario. You could do, pro clubs. It's same thing, literally, and every single player is an actual human being. So you're just not playing with computer players. Like it's like FIFA, but obviously for the Nintendo Switch. It's so exciting.
Well, I think a reason they brought back Strikers is because FIFA is one of the top selling games on the Switch all the time, because the Switch is so worldwide and FIFA is also so worldwide. But people have been so annoyed with FIFA lately. They're like, well, if we release a Mario one, people will probably do it. Plus, they always release, like we said, a Mario sports game every June. But they brought back a lot of the classic concepts, which was nice. Like they brought back the double goal. They brought back the items are used almost exactly the same. It looks like it's still 5v5. Like a lot of the classic stuff from the old Strikers was brought back, which I like. Like a lot. Like I remember when they brought tennis to, I think it was the Wii U, and they changed it up completely. And there was only one item, and it was the giant. It was so bad. It was so incredibly bad. And this is more like they just basically are recreating it, making it a little better, and bringing it to the Switch, which is going to be fun. Strikers was one of my favorite Mario sports games ever. It's just so much fun to play with people. And as Chelsea was just saying, I don't know if anybody heard this. You can play with up to 8 people. So 8 people can be on one console playing at once. That's going to be a madhouse of people.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be so much fun.
I mean, all these tournaments that they're going to be doing, it's going to be intense. And this is great for the e-gaming world, This is super great for the e-gaming world. I mean, tournaments like this, how like Fortnite blew up, all that stuff. It could happen with this. Same thing. They do FIFA tournaments. It'd be the same thing.
And they still do the tennis tournaments to this day. Tennis kind of fell off pretty hard, but they still do the tennis tournaments to this day on Mario Aces, which came out for the Switch. Like, all the time you see the North America Open or the West Coast Open or something like that all the time in your news. And it just shows, like, even when the hype dies down, like golf, the hype is real. Every streamer's playing it and then it fades out. Same with tennis. Every streamer's playing it, then it faded out. And same thing's going to happen on Strikers. Everyone's going to be playing it for 2 months and then it'll fade out. But there will be people that continue on, and they'll be doing these opens and doing these tournaments and just playing constantly online and stuff like that. So the Mario sports franchise is really great. And speaking of the sports franchise, the top sports franchise for Mario Kart Deluxe is getting an update where they're going to add 48 new courses to Mario Kart 8. Now, one of the big rumors was Mario Kart 9 was going to be announced, but why would you make 9 when you could just do this from 8? It's the top selling Switch game. I think it might be the top selling game of all time. Like, why would you make a new one when you could just take this, upgrade it or update it, and then just add all these new courses into it? It doesn't really make sense to make a new one, right?
Like, they did a wonderful job doing that.
Yo, so speaking of that, do you remember when we used to do drunk driving with the Mario Kart?
I think that's what everyone did. Everyone does that.
Yo, the drunk. I'm just saying, when we did it for spring weekend, like, that was litty.
You gotta love his response. You didn't remember we did? Yeah, that was tight.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, that's the best part about Mario Kart is, like, you can play it online, you can play it by yourself, you can play it with people, you can play it at parties. Like, it's just something you could play overall, and like it's the same thing but different outcomes. Like, obviously if you have one person that's really good, they win every time, but like there's the same thing, different outcomes, different ways to win. It's never the same game, even though it is the same game. So it doesn't make sense to make a new one, but the DLC pass is going to have 48 new courses. It's going to have Coconut Mall, which people are very excited about.
Coconut Mall.
Everyone was so excited. Coconut Mall is going to come out. And I think the coolest part I saw with them is it's not just going to be like the 64 and the Double Dash and stuff like that. It's also going to be from Mario Kart Tour, which was the app that was released, the Mario Kart app that was released. They're actually going to have courses from Mario Kart Tour on the new Mario Kart download, which is really cool because like Tour hasn't really been a part of the video game. It's pretty new. It's a couple years old, but like you don't ever see mentions of it. They don't really affiliate with it as much, but now it's going to be completely intertwined, which is going to be really cool. Some other stuff like Metroid Dread's getting an update. There's a couple of big new games coming out, and I guess the biggest one for me. Oh, you got one? Go ahead.
You want to go first?
No. You go, please.
So this is out of Nintendo, but my personal favorite, and finally hearing some information about it, GTA 6. I am a huge GTA person. My favorite game of all time. I mean, I love Rockstar. I don't know if you guys know the game Bully.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was like one of my first games playing on the PS2. All the GTA, San Andreas, Vice City, Liberty City. I played all of those. I'm a huge GTA person. What was it? Oh, and Red Dead Redemption.
Didn't they do Midnight Club too?
What?
Didn't they do Midnight Club?
Yes, but I've never played that game, actually. That's one of the games I've never played.
Joy. Midnight Club Edition remix, bro. My black and gold Monte Carlo could not lose.
No, but yeah, I'm super excited for GTA 6. Apparently, they're releasing a trailer sometime later this year, so let's
probably at E3. I would imagine when you hear stuff like that, E3, like that's going to be announced. Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be announced. Like that's where all the big ones are going to be announced. Is E3.
Yes. It's in Vice City, so we'll see.
What do you like doing the most in GTA, Chelsea?
I mean, I love the story modes. I mean, that's like my favorite part. I've probably for San Andreas, I probably beat and I'm being so honest, I probably beat 10 times because I love the story mode. For GTA, 5, the newest one, I like the online. I mean, it's the first game that's online. I like it. I like how they always update it with new heists and all that stuff. But in general, the story mode, I mean, I haven't been unimpressed with the story modes for GTA. So
okay.
That's why they haven't made a new one yet, is because the other one was so big and you could just play online constantly with people. It's like
it's kind of cool.
What's up?
And they keep adding new stuff, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the same thing we were just talking about with Mario Kart. Like, why make a new one when you could just keep updating the old one, selling it for $25 a pop? People are buying it. If you do 4 of them, you've already made more than one game.
Yeah,
people are buying it, so it's like, why even make a new one? But I guess to have new stories, you can only have so many DLC stories where you actually need a new map or a new setting, new characters and stuff like that. So I guess that would make sense for that.
For the story mode too, I mean, GTA 5 was a huge game. I mean, 3 characters, you're in control of 3 characters, and the online, it was their biggest game. I mean, I'm not surprised that it took them this long to create GTA 6 because it has to be out of the box. Like GTA 5 was good, so
yeah, you got to one up it. But I mean, they did that with Red Dead 2, right?
Yes.
Red Dead was so good, but Red Dead 2 sold twice as many or something like that. So they know what they're doing over there. They are the kings or queens, whoever's making it over there, of the open world concept. They really are. They are the ones that really not started the trend. Maybe they did start the trend, but they are the ones that everything they do is open world concept. Everything they do is online play, and the story modes are great. So I'm saying look for E3 for that one. I already can tell that's an E3. That's an E3 announcement. But last thing for another shooter game. Just kidding. It's nothing like GTA. Splatoon 3 is going to finally arrive. They just showed one more trailer for that. They showed the salmon run, which was really big. That's about it for me for Nintendo. If you guys have anything else you thought Nintendo wise you wanted to think of, but
no, I mean, there's a lot of excitement there. I mean, Kyle, you go ahead.
Nah, I'm a Nintendo guy, low key, kind of sort of. I was more of a Pokemon kind of Nintendo person, so
So speaking of Pokemon, the new Pokemon came out recently. I know, Kyle, you know about it secondhand. You could say a little. How about you say a little bit about your secondhand? And then I've been playing it almost nonstop. Whenever I have time that I'm not doing anything, I've been playing it, so I could tell you a little bit more about your secondhand experience.
See, it's all I ever hear about it is just how cool the game is, how the person that I talked to, she's kind of like like she's really into like all the technical stuff. So she's all into like, oh my God, there's this percentage of shinies, and like she gets deep into it. Like it's a lecture. So it's yeah, it's all I get is like the stats and all of the super duper like nerdy stuff, and oh, they got this many people from the Hoenn region and all of this. It's kind of cool.
So,
I mean, I like Pokemon, but
so it's the coolest part about this one is like it's kind of off base from the original Pokemons. Like it's almost like Breath of the Wild, where it's completely open concept. If you've played or know about Sword and Shield, there's a thing called the Wild Area, which I kind of talked about, I think 2 podcasts ago or maybe, but it's like kind of like the Wild Area where but it's just, that's the whole game, is the Wild Area, which is really cool. So you'll be going through and Pokemon are just running around, and you can catch them, you can flee them, or you can fight them. And they can fight you too. Like they will attack you to a point where you black out, just like in the old one. So they basically almost kill you or knock you out or something like that.
that's kind of cool.
And then you're just on this map, and you have different sections. So it's not like Breath of the Wild where like you can go from one section to the next. And we're comparing it to, Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest video games ever made. But you can't go section to section like that. But like the areas are huge, and you can climb the mountains on them. You can go in the waters and stuff once you reach certain levels, obviously. And you can do your mission, or you can just keep catching Pokemon and leveling up. And some of the original concepts are there. Like you have to be a certain amount of stars to control certain Pokemon. If you know what I'm talking about, like you have to be a 4-star, I think it is, or a 3-star to control level 40 Pokemon. Which if you're not a 3-star and you have a level 40 and you tell them like tackle, they might not do it because they don't listen to you. That's from the original Pokemon as well. Like the more you level up as a trainer, the more they'll listen to you. And that gives you incentive to continue the missions, because like I said, you don't have to. You can just stay in the one area and be catching all these Pokemon all over the place. But when I first started playing it, I'm like, wow, this is like just an extension of the Wild Area. Like this isn't what I thought it was. But then there's this thing. So you have the star rank. That was before I got my 1-star rank. Once you get your 1-star rank, the map just like flows out. Like it just opens up completely. And there's so much more you can do. And it's really cool how you can and then the town's really cool too. You're like, there's this little town, you interact with all the people. There's different shops. There's different missions there. There's like 100 side missions to go along with the main story and stuff like that. But it's really cool. It's just a cool concept. It's an open world. I think the coolest concept, actually, going back really quick, is there's like these time warps. So your character came from a time warp. So you're from like present day Pokemon, but you're like back in the past now. And there's these time warps that'll appear out of nowhere. And when you go into them, Pokemon that don't exist in this time period, like Porygon will appear. Porygon and Porygon 2 will appear. Like you'll get evolutions. You'll get all these Pokemon that just don't, like you'll get Sylveon or Vaporeon, like just appearing out of nowhere. And they're really aggressive, and they always come in 3s. So like if you want to fight them or catch them, you have to, like, you can't always just catch them. You have to fight them to catch them, and you need to fight all 3 of them. And it could be a mix. It could be like a Flareon, a Vaporeon, and like Electrode, like all together. So like now you can't just use one Pokemon, like, because that's against everything. So that part's really cool too. And like I said, I would, like you were talking about, if I got a Switch, I'd only play Pokemon before the show. Mm-hmm. This would be one you'd want to play. I think Sword and Shield's great too. I think if you're going to play Pokemon, you should get them both. But this one was so good. I'm still not done with it yet. I'm pretty close. I've unlocked the entire map. I've unlocked all the Pokemon that help you throughout. Like there's one that you can ride, like how you had the bike in the old ones. Mm-hmm. Now there's one you can ride that gets you places faster. There's one that, so you can't swim in the game, you'll drown, but you can ride like, you know how surf, remember surf in the old ones, you can get with like Lapras and stuff, you can do that. And then there's flying too, and I just unlocked, that's the last one you unlock. So I have all those and I've unlocked all the things. So I'm probably right towards the end of the game, but it is legit. It is so good. I've really enjoyed it and I highly recommend it. If anybody's on the fence, yes, go get it. It's
All right,
really
cool. All right. So would you rather have the light? If I had to buy one, would you rather me get the light or the actual like joint?
so if you're buying, like if you're gonna go buy one, which one would you get? Get the regular one, because then you have, even if you always, I always use mine handheld. I almost never use mine on the TV. I've been using it on TV more often, but I don't almost never do. I usually am like laying on the couch watching TV with it, with playing, like, or laying in bed, or so I use handheld a lot. Like Joe Brown, for example, only uses TV. He doesn't like the handheld version. But I would, even if you only use handheld, at least you have the option to put it on the TV for things like if you want to play Smash with somebody, like someone comes over your house and you want to play Super Smash or Mario Kart or something like that. You can't put the light to the TV. You can only play it handheld. So that way you can do that. So I would say go with the regular. It's like $100 more or something like that.
Yeah.
So I would go with that.
Because I was sitting there just thinking, and I was like, all right. But all right, bet.
You should go out there. You need to get both Pokemons and get Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild is an unbelievably good game. Can't wait for 2 to come out. I know if that didn't drop in this last direct, which it didn't, E3 is when that trailer is going to drop, because that's supposed to come out at the end of this year. Breath of the Wild 2. Go ahead.
Let me ask you.
Please, by the way, just interrupt us. We're going to keep going if you don't.
No, that's all right. If you were to, let's say if you wanted like a fun night with your friends, what are the games that you would play?
On the Switch?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on the friend group you have. My favorite multiplayers on the Switch, like I'm gonna take out Smash and I'm gonna take out Mario Kart, because those are like obvious. Like those have been obvious for years.
Right.
The new Mario Party Superstars is legit, super legit. It's so much fun. It's basically an all-star game for Mario Party. There's no like original stuff. It's all just the best. So there was a game that came out for the 3DS called like the top 100 mini games from Mario Party. It's those, but with like 4 of the top maps or something like that. It's so much fun. They said they're going to release more maps and stuff too. I highly recommend that. We have a lot of fun. It'll remind you of when you used to play like Mario Party 2. Like you still get mad at people for stealing your stars or stealing your coins and like taking your turns and all that stuff. It's super legit. Other than that, let's think. So I already took out the 2 other ones because Mario Kart would be next.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart would probably be first, but Mario Kart is just, it's so easy and it's better than Smash. Like if you have the right friends to play Smash, that's fun to play. But like Kart, anybody can play, even if they suck at it. There's ways to win, even when you're not that great. Right. Like obviously, people that are really experienced, they're probably gonna be really, really good. But you know, if you're all kind of on the same level, like some people are a little lower, some people a little higher. Somebody in last can come in first with a couple blue shells and a little bit of Mario Kart luck, we call it. Or they kind of force the luck for you. So that one's a really good one as well. I got to think of some other ones. I could tell you a story though. When I used to coach at Beaver Country Day School in Boston, whenever we had road games, I'd bring my Switch onto the bus and we'd play the kids in Super Smash Brothers. We always had Super Smash Brothers tournaments on the buses to the road games. Oh, wow. It was so much fun. So that's that's one of the luxuries of the Switch that you don't get with the other systems. Obviously, the other systems have much better graphics, but that's kind of stuff you don't get with like PlayStation and Xbox.
Right.
So I gave 3, even though I took 2 out early. They're probably still 2 of the best. Like those are the Kart's probably the one you'd want to play. I'm sure there's other ones I'm not thinking of. Maybe if I think of it, I'll pop back in. But those are definitely the 3 you'd want to play. And Pokemon. No, I was kidding. Pokemon's not multiplayer, but it is a lot of fun. Kyle, go get it. Get it. And then I told you, wait, hold on. Can we go back? I told you I have a box in in
know you do.
Shield that I
No,
or Sword that I said I would give you. It has all the Pokemon you wanted in. Every
I
single
know,
one you
bro.
asked for is in
I'm
there.
waiting. And I'm waiting. And look, bro, look, I'm a teacher. I'm on a teacher's salary. Okay. Coaching has like took my soul, and I'm finally in an off season, you know? So
Go get it ASAP. I will get Sword or Shield.
I'm gonna get it by the summertime.
Okay. Okay. Because I've had that box for 2 years with your name on it. It literally says for Kyle and has every Pokemon you asked. I went out and got extras of the ones you wanted. So they were in there.
I'm getting both. I'm gonna get both, and then we can finally really do the thing we've been talking about forever.
I know you can trade in the new one. I don't know if you can like battle. Like I don't know if I can battle you in the new Pokemon. I'd have to look into that. I honestly don't know. I know if you get Sword and Shield, we can definitely battle and we can trade and all that stuff in that one. So that's easy enough. But I don't know. Now, if I traded you the Pokemon, would you want it towards the end of you playing or in the beginning of you playing?
Right beginning.
Oh, you're one of those people. You want it right in the beginning to help you out. So you got a level 50 going up against the level 2 Togepi.
If you want me to be real with you, what I'll end up doing is I'll take I'm gonna go. Dang, they're all level 50?
No, I don't know what levels there, but I'm saying like they're high levels. There's none that's like a level 4 because they were all you wanted like Gengar and you wanted Gyarados, and those are all evolutions.
True, I do like evolutions.
Most people
I'll wait till I can actually like control them though. I'll wait till I get enough.
Yeah, well, that's true. You're gonna get a 50 going up against a 2 Togepi. He's gonna beat you because they're like, I'm not listening to you.
Exactly. Like this, I'm not going through that. I went through that as a kid thinking I was cool. So like, I'd wait. But like,
I could still. Here's another thing. I could always trade them to you, and then you just store them until you're ready, until you're ready to battle people online and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'll end up doing.
There you go. That's the way you're going to do it then. So definitely go get it. I will trade them to you. I have them ready for you. You can have them all. You can have all the ones. I actually have some dope I mean, I'm not trading them to you, but I got some dope Pokemon on there. Those are for me. I got like a shiny Mewtwo. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I don't remember which ones you asked for. I wish I had my Switch here and I can go through and like, see, I'll show you.
No, I believe Schnabel. I believe you, man.
You could believe it because I told you this was 2 years ago that I told you I was going to do that. And here we are still without. You know what else we've been waiting 2 years for, Kyle? More than 2 years. The Batman.
A good Batman. No.
A good Batman.
A great Batman. I'm hyped.
Batman.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I watched that trailer, bro. Hey, bro. That's it, bro. They finally got like the real essence of like Batman and like how like he's a real anti-hero. He's not a hero. He's an anti-hero. And that's why I like it. Because it's like it kind of looked like gang wars, bro. It was kind of hard.
It looked
like
dark.
It was kind of hard, bro. Like it just looked like one villain popping after another. And that seems so realistic. It don't seem like, think about this, bro. You got a rich vigilante in all black running around just being a terrorist. Let's just be honest. So you don't think somebody wouldn't want to gang up on you, especially if there's a bunch of people that don't like you? And then the whole like Selena Kyle thing, I think that's lit. Because it's like you kind of get to really see their relationship for real instead of just seeing them, oh, hey, and like, how they kind of like kiss, like they kind of like made it a little too kiddie almost, to where it's like, come on now. We both know that they doing the do behind closed doors. We both know. He might be doing it with his mask on, but come on now.
What is Batman doing with his mask on?
Hey man, Batman's a rich.
He is rich. Rich people do weird things.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like if Elon Musk was like muscular and smart. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
But before you keep going, let me just say you were talking about The Batman starring Robert Pattinson coming out March 4th. It's a Matt Reeves film. This movie started, it was supposed to be Ben Affleck. And he was supposed to direct, he was supposed to write, he was supposed to star in it. And then he took a step back. They got Robert Pattinson. You talk about Selena Kyle. That's going to be Zoe Kravitz. Colin Farrell is going to be the Penguin. Paul Dano's the Riddler. And on top of all this, the Penguin is getting its own spin-off series on HBO Max, as is Gotham PD is getting its own spin-off series on HBO Max. So they're starting like a Batman universe, which is going to, I guess, run contrary to the DCEU, which is there's a lot of stuff going on with that. We can get into that in a second because I want to let you go. I mean, you already started. I can't pull you back now. I just want people to know what you're talking about before you keep going.
My bad. Because I think right now, I think it's finna, like, I don't care if I'm wrong. I just want to have my day because Marvel fans has been having a day forever. I just want to have.
But hold on. Back up. As DC, yes. As DC, yes. Marvel has been having their day and DC hasn't. But if you're talking about actual movies, Batman has the greatest superhero movie of all time. So
I know.
The Dark Knight is unmatched by any Marvel movie.
It is unmatched. But I'm just petty. That's all.
I did start the Snyder Cut the other day. I've never seen the Snyder. I saw the original Justice League when they had what's his name? The dude that directed Avengers took over for Snyder when he had the tragedy and he left the thing. So and then they released Snyder Cut last year or something like that. And I just started it. I have not been able to. It's 4 hours long.
It's long, man.
It's long, but it hasn't been bad.
4 hours. I haven't watched it because it's 4 hours, bro. And
it's actually pretty good. Like if you watch the original Justice League and you're like, I'm not watching that because the original Justice League was terrible. It like explains everything that wasn't explained. Like all the stuff you didn't understand in Justice League. You're like, wait, what? Like Cyborg just appears. Like all that's explained throughout the whole thing. It's so far it's been pretty good. I'm probably a little over 2 hours into it, and it's 4 hours. So
I gotta take a day off for that. That
yeah,
might
you do.
Be like a Sunday thing.
It's like watching all the Marvel movies, which I've actually been doing that too, but I got to Doctor Strange and I haven't done it. I haven't watched in like 2 weeks. I do. And I love Doctor Strange. It's one of my favorite ones. I just haven't gotten back into it, but.
Did I ever tell you that I watched Hawkeye?
I think you did.
Bro,
I had a revelation like 2 days ago about Hawkeye. So I was watching a clip online of Hawkeye. And what was the guy's name? Diggs, or what was the LARPer that he stays with? Do you remember what was his name?
Oh my God!
It's like Diggs or Riggs or something like that.
Oh God! Oh God!
Anyway, you guys can look into that if you want. So that guy, when I first watched it, I'm like, he seems so familiar. Like Grills. He seems so familiar, and I'm like, why is he so familiar? So I was watching a clip like of something on Marvel about Hawkeye on my phone, and I saw him again. I'm like, that's Clayton English. Kyle, you know who I'm talking about. Clayton English, the Atlanta comedian that I told you about like 7 years ago. My friend Gio and I went to go see him like 7 or 8 years ago, just randomly went to a comedy club. We didn't go to see him specifically. We just went to a comedy club. We got to meet him afterwards and take pictures and stuff. And I was like, this guy seems so familiar when I was watching. And I saw it the other day. I was like, dude, that's Clayton English, isn't it? And I looked it up and it is. It's Clayton English. I was like, whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about now? Like I sent you his stuff like 7 years ago or 8 years ago. Like
that is him.
That's him. I was like, whoa, that's definitely him. That dude is so funny. I haven't heard a thing from him in years.
Oh,
he won that last comic standing the year I heard of him, and then that was it. He didn't do anything. He didn't even have another special after that. I don't think.
That's cool, man.
That was crazy though. I was like, whoa, that's him. That's Clayton English.
I just didn't want nothing to happen to him because
he's great. The LARPers overall, or whatever. I think they're called the LARPers.
Yeah, the LARPers
series. I know they're doing the middle of it, but they were one of the best parts of the entire series. It was so funny when Hawkeye has to go in and like has to fight to get the thing. It's so funny. Like this dude beat Thanos.
Yeah.
and then he's like, I'll give it to you if you let me beat you. And he's like, I was an Avenger.
It was like,
it's so good.
What I really did like was how you got to see the other perspective from the fight from the movie.
In the beginning, yeah, that was really cool.
And like I thought that was the coolest thing. And
Marvel does that a lot, though. Marvel gives you different perspectives on things that happen in movies quite often. Like that is something they're big on.
Great world building.
The shows. Did you watch all of the shows?
The only one
Captain and the Winter Soldier, right? You said
that's the only one I didn't watch because I'm anti-Captain America.
Yeah, I know, but I think you might enjoy it a little more than you think. But as long as you saw, WandaVision was really good. Loki was my favorite one, and Hawkeye might have been my second favorite. Hawkeye was actually underratedly good. Like I did not expect it to be as good as it was, and it was really good.
Yeah, I really liked Hawkeye.
Chelsea, have you seen all of these? I said, Chelsea, have you seen all of these?
I have not, honestly.
I said that because I didn't want to spoil things for you.
No, I've seen Hawkeye. I've seen WandaVision.
Okay.
I try to finish Loki. I just get tired. I don't know. I get sleepy. It's like I'm like in the part where he meets the girl and like they got into this train or whatever.
Oh, you're right in the beginning.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but that was like
listen,
in the beginning of January last time I watched it.
If you follow the Marvel universe, you have to finish Loki because it has literally the biggest, like that is the one that changes the Marvel universe the most.
Yeah. All right, I'll try to watch it.
I can't even say why, but
that motivates me. I mean, you could say it. It's not. It's like I'm gonna find out either way. It's whatever.
Yeah, but I don't like spoiling. I guess Kyle's the same way. He's like, I don't care if we spoil it. Like, I'm still gonna watch it. Yeah. I don't like having things spoiled. I'm the person that would go see Spider-Man No Way Home at 3:30 2 days before it's supposed to come out, so nobody can spoil for what happens for me.
Right.
Like, that's who I am. So I don't like having things spoiled. But if you don't care about having things spoiled, we will go on with our conversation.
100% will spoil you all day.
No, that's it. That shows me she doesn't want it spoiled. So we won't do it.
Yeah, because you look a little like
to be continued in the next.
But you saw Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can talk about Hawkeye. So Hawkeye was really good, and my favorite part was Kingpin showing up. Like it's so awesome, and even though the end, he's still there. They're not bringing back Vincent D'Onofrio, I think that's his name, to play Kingpin, to have him in like an episode. Like he's gonna be Kingpin in the series. I'm all for it. I was all for the series. I was all for Shang-Chi. I said series and my Siri came up. What is that about? I was all for Shang-Chi. I was all for Spider-Man. I'm all for it. They're going good again. Then you got new Guardians coming out. You got new Thor coming out. You have Fantastic Fours coming out. You have the X-Men's coming out.
Oh yeah, the X-Men is coming out.
Yeah, it's not called X-Men. It's called Mutants. Kyle just zoomed off the screen.
No,
he's gone.
No, my computer is about to die, and the site that I was in was not working at all.
This guy does not plug his computer in before he starts. He is a man without fear.
I did the same, and I was at 70%. Just checked again. I'm at 30. Yikes.
So you're a woman without fear.
Yes.
Wow.
So
my co-hosts have no fear.
No,
I understand that you need to plug your laptop in before you start these things.
Bro, I was cooling at like 4% for the past like 30 minutes.
It's a strong 4%.
Well,
4%, man.
Just to make sure my co-hosts' computers don't die, why don't we talk a little bit about our March Madness bracket that we have coming up? We are excited to bring it. If you listened to the episode last week, I announced the number 1 seeds. In the Marvel, it's Spider-Man. In the Marvel hero, I should say, the Marvel villain, it is Dr. Doom. In the DC villain, it's the Joker. And in the DC hero, it is Batman. If you're wondering why are they those, we'll go to the last episode and you'll hear the explanation of why we did all of those. So in this, we're going to talk a little bit more. I'll explain again what the whole bracket is. I should probably do it one more time, right? If we're going to talk about it, I'll explain what it is. we're going to talk about some heroes that you can almost guarantee you're going to see, some heroes we want to see. You're like, you're creating the bracket, you should already know what's in it. We really don't. We have like certain lists we've come up with and stuff, but we're still not, it's not together yet. There's like lists of like 20 to 30 characters out there that we've made, but there's no list that says like, this is the 2 seed, this is the 3 seed. There's only the 1 seed so far. So should I explain the bracket one more time? Do you think?
I think you should, because even looking at it, I'm just like, is this ranked from like the best villain, the most evil villain?
Well, the one that you have that the viewers can't see or the listeners can't hear, they don't know. We haven't announced any. Only announced the 1 seed so far. Okay. So those are just a list. That's just a list that was compiled. But so what the bracket is, a couple of years ago, we did the March Madness cartoon bracket. Kyle and I put that together. We did a bunch of episodes. It was really fun. It took about a month, maybe a little longer than that. 68 shows I think we had going up, right? Not even. I think it was 70. Had to have been, right? It was a lot. And the final was Spongebob versus Gravity Falls. And in the biggest upset since Virginia went down to whatever school they lost to when they were the 1 seed, Gravity Falls beat SpongeBob, which was shocking to everyone, literally everyone. That was a lot of fun. And we're deciding to do it again. We're deciding it's time to do it again. We did not do one last year. We were all very busy when things kind of looked like they were calming down, and then they didn't. So now we're coming back and we're doing it again, this time with superheroes. So the top part of the bracket's the Marvel heroes. That's where Spider-Man is number 1. The bottom half of the left side of the bracket is the Marvel villains. That's where Dr. Doom is. The top half of the DC is Batman. That's the heroes. And the bottom half is the villains. That's where the Joker is number 1. By the time you get to the final 4, it'll be the Marvel hero versus the Marvel villain, the DC hero versus the DC villain. And then it's going to be Marvel versus DC, whether it's the hero, whether it's the villain. Who knows? But that's kind of going to be what it is. So I think what we should talk about are some of our favorite heroes that we hope that are on there. And maybe we'll finish up the podcast talking about who we think is going to come out of each bracket. I don't want to put who's going to win yet because we don't have a bracket together. But if you're just thinking like, it could easily be the 1 seeds in each one, except for the Marvel villains. I think Thanos might give Dr. Doom a run for his money. They're both definitely going to be in there. Because of his MCU status, but anybody that follows the comics or follows Marvel before the MCU started, Dr. Doom and Galactus also are 2 huge Marvel villains. So let's, Kyle, you want to start? Because you kind of went off on Batman a little bit. You could start talking about like maybe some of your favorite Marvel heroes you want to see in there. Let's start with the Marvel heroes. We'll go with Kyle first.
All right, with the Marvel heroes, my bad. I just want to pull it up so I'm not like wrong.
You don't forget anybody. I get that.
All right, bet. Look this up. I got this right here. All right, bet. So the Marvel hero.
Without looking at the list, who's your favorite Marvel hero? I gotta imagine it's an X-Men character, right?
My favorite Marvel hero in like real life. Like yes. Without the list?
What do you mean? Yeah, in real life, yes.
Oh, yeah, it is an X-Men character.
Is it Wolverine? Or is it Jean Grey?
Actually, okay, believe it or not, my favorite Marvel character is Nightcrawler.
Ah, see?
Nightcrawler and Cable are my 2 favorites.
Was Cable a hero or a villain?
Cable,
that's gonna be something we're gonna get stumped with. Are the hero / villain ones?
I'm going to give him. See, that's a good question.
He's kind of a villain, but he's also kind of a hero, and he also works a lot with Deadpool. Like,
like he's an anti-hero, but we're just gonna put him in a hero since he's an anti-hero.
Okay,
we'll just like because he's sort of like Batman. If you got Batman, you can put in Cable.
That's true, but Batman is listed as a hero.
He's as a hero, but let's keep it a being.
Yeah, but like I look at it. I don't look at it as if you do good or bad things. I look at it as the people that are the main story drivers, and then the people that the main story drivers go against.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Which
So
and you're gonna be like, well, there's Batman versus Superman or Batman versus the Flash, whatever it is, but like that's hero and hero. Like that's comic seller stuff. Like what I'm talking about is like Batman versus the Joker. Like he is known as the villain type of thing.
hero. Cable will be a hero.
Okay.
He works with Deadpool. Hero.
He does.
Yeah, hero. And then he's also a relative of he's X-Men and he's a relative of Cyclops. I think he's his grandson. Son or grandson.
I knew you were a big X-Men person.
Laser eye. I think he has a laser eye, and he's a time traveler. And he was just a demon, bro. He was lit. So it was just like, I think I always like those kind of people. So like Cable would probably be my favorite. Marvel.
No, Nightcrawler was your favorite.
I mean, well, second. My second favorite. But we was just talking about him. Nightcrawler is my top favorite. Top will forever be my favorite. Magneto is actually my favorite Marvel villain.
That's villain. Yeah, that's a villain.
Yeah,
He'll definitely be on there. Magneto's like one of the top. I don't really read as much DC as I do Marvel, but I think Marvel has a lot more known villains than DC. Not known as in like known, like they have a lot more, like their actual quantity is known more than DC, where like the top villains in DC are known. But once you start getting to like the lower, which will be the lower seeds, they really fall off pretty hard.
Yeah, because not many people know like Scarecrow.
I think Scarecrow is one of the more known ones, though.
Scarecrow, yeah, but you don't really hear people talk about Scarecrow though, or Sinestro.
I was gonna say like Sinestro is one. Like you don't really hear Sinestro or
Black Adam. Only reason why you hear Black Adam is because of the movie to me.
Yeah, well, if you're a comic book fan, you know Black Adam. It's kind of like everyone that's knows Marvel comic books knows Adam Warlock, and he's barely been in any, or Silver Surfer, and they have barely been in any of the MCU. Well, Silver Surfer hasn't been in the MCU yet.
Hey, Silver Surfer was a dog, though.
Yeah, he was. His
dog.
story's awesome too.
Silver Surfer was a dog. Silver Surfer was a dog.
Chelsea, what you got? What heroes? What's your favorite Marvel hero? Who do you hope to see?
So I'm gonna be honest. Spider-Man. I mean,
I'm right there with you. I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt right now.
Yeah, I've always been a Spider-Man person. I mean, especially with Toby. It's just, I just like it. I like the whole story. It's a kid. He's learning. And it just feels like, I don't know how to explain it, but I guess relatable.
I was gonna say you don't have to explain him being in the tournament because he's there. He was announced as the one seed, so we are good there. But
it's just the whole story. I mean, he's a kid, and I was a kid. We're all kids. A lot of us were just kids when Toby came out. So obviously we felt relatable. It's like, even though we're not superheroes, but it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I was also gonna say I like Rocket. I feel like he's really underrated.
Do we do the Guardians of the Galaxy separately, or do we do them as the Guardians of the Galaxy? If we were to put them in, gotta keep.
The only reason they became heroes was because they became the Guardians of the Galaxy.
They were all. In the movie, kind of yes, but they were all separate. I mean, there's Star-Lord's its own separate thing. These actually, the movie Guardians of the Galaxy aren't the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are the New Age ones. The original Guardians of the Galaxy were different characters, actually. But they all had their own, I think, maybe not all of them, but most of them, like, there's Rocket. Like, if you're going to put Rocket, I think Rocket and Groot have to be together. Because everything's Rocket. There's not just Rocket, and it's not just Groot. Like, anything. Like, it's always those two together.
Except for, like, Endgame. Or, like,
No, I'm not talking about in the movie. I'm talking about like in any comic. There's no like standalone Rocket or standalone Groot. It's Rocket and Groot, like most everything you see. So I would say those two would definitely have to be together. But I mean, you could put them all separately because I think most all of them have their own separate. I know Star-Lord definitely does. And I don't know about Gamora or Drax. I know Rocket and Groot have their own standalone comics as well, though.
Well, then we could do standalone, but I would still choose Rocket. I feel like Rocket is so underrated, and I feel like he's more of a leader than Star-Lord. I mean, I really do. I mean, it's just
Speak your truth, girl.
he's smarter. I mean, he puts these weapons together. He helped create Thor's weapon, like his freaking you know, the thing, whatever. But so did Groot though, because Groot uses his part, his own little part. But no, I mean he's a genius.
Groot's...
he fixes the rocket ship every time it's broken or anything. Like, and he's strong as a fighter too. Like,
I would say Groot's more heroic.
Yeah.
But Rocket's the leader, and that's why they go together. It's like any of the old Looney Tune cartoons. You see the short guy is like the leader of the mob, and the big doof is the muscle. That's exactly what it is. That's the exact thing they have now. But thinking of what the bracket can hold, right? We already said Spider-Man. You're gonna have Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk. Probably you're gonna have Wolverine, Jean Grey. Like, what does Rocket, you think, stand a chance in that bracket?
I think Rocket and Groot.
And Groot together, you think can beat Spider-Man, Iron Man?
No, I mean, I think it could be. They could at least get to the final four. We'll see how it goes, but I have positive hopes because you're gonna know you're right. Rocket and Groot. I mean, they're a duo. Ride or die.
Interesting. I'm excited to see how this goes because, like, I guess it's my turn anyway. I think Spider-Man's going to come out of the bracket just because he's the most well-known. He's the one that everyone loves. People I want to see, and I can almost guarantee are going to be in there. Spider-Man, these are my favorites personally. Spider-Man and Deadpool are two of my favorites, especially when you put them together. The Spider-Man Deadpool comics they're so good. But Daredevil's always been one of my favorite comics, and I love his comics. The show is amazing. Like, I wish he got more screen time. I guess he did get more screen time a little bit, but I wish he would get more screen time. I'm glad that he's going to get more screen time. Doctor Strange is one of my favorites. I can imagine these guys are all going to be on there though, right? If you think about it, like, especially with the MCU now, Doctor Strange is one of the top characters in Marvel now because of the MCU. So those are some of my favorites. I honestly think they're all going to be on there. But like, I see Spider-Man coming out of that, but like Iron Man is so big now because of the MCU. For people that don't know comics, like didn't know before the MCU, Iron Man was not a big character. They made him a big character from the movies. He was like he wasn't like one of their nobody characters that you never hear from again, but he was not until Robert Downey Jr. took over Iron Man, he was not a big hero. He really wasn't. He was like the one they experimented a lot with. His costume looked like he was a flying trash can. He was not amazing, but then the movies just changed everything for Iron Man. But he's probably going to end up being a top seed when it's all said and done because of his popularity from the MCU. Right. Am I on track? Same with like Thor. Thor's another one. Thor was very big in the comics, but he was never really anyone's favorite. And then the movies came along, especially when they did Ragnarok and they showed like the funny side of it.
Yeah.
And it just completely changed. But when you include the X-Men and stuff, like I think the final two in the Marvel will probably be like Spider-Man and Wolverine. Those are two super popular. I think that's what it's going to be. So let's do one more. I'll let you guys pick. We could do the DC heroes, which I know Kyle's probably clamoring to do because he could talk about Batman all day. Maybe we won't do the DC heroes because we just talked about the Batman movie. And I know Kyle can go on for 45 minutes on the Batman. 100%. We could do the Marvel villains or the DC villains.
The Marvel.
You want to do Marvel? Keep it all Marvel for this one. That means next episode we talk all DC. That's good with me.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay, so we'll go in reverse order. So I'll start. Chelsea will go, and then Kyle, you'll be wrapping up the show basically, as it should be. As it should be. So the number one seed was announced, Doctor Doom. It's people probably are like Doctor Doom. Like, if you don't really pay attention to the comics or you don't know Marvel at all, other than MCU, you probably don't even know who Doctor Doom is, or you barely know who Doctor Doom is. He has never been announced in the MCU. Hopefully soon. Now that Fantastic Four is coming, he has to be coming as well. Same with Galactus, but we'll get more into that. Hopefully, like, but he is the Marvel villain before Thanos really came along. Not saying Thanos was nothing. Thanos was also one of the top villains in Marvel in the comics, but like Doctor Doom was the villain coming in, so he is the one seed. One that I don't know if they'll be in or out as because he's a villain, but he's also a hero, especially in the MCU, is like Loki. Are we going to get Loki as a villain, as a hero? Do you exclude someone? Like, you can't exclude him. He's too big now, especially from he's like the main villain usually, or one of the main villains for Thor, but he's also could be a hero. Another one like that is Venom. Venom's I mean, you could say he's a villain, but if you read The King in Black, he's not.
Yeah, but I kind of like him as a villain, though.
You want him going against Spider-Man?
Yeah, like all those people you're talking about are anti-heroes, bro.
Well, that's the thing. Well, Doctor Doom's not. Neither is Thanos.
Well, no, not Doctor Doom. I'm talking about like the ones that you're conflicted on.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm conflicted on, because they're anti-heroes for the most part.
Well, dang, it'd be cool if we had our own like if let's say if like we had I don't think it would be cool to have its own group though, like an anti-hero group.
Well, you really can't. You can only have 4 groups, and I think what we have makes the most sense.
It does.
With the heroes versus the villains. But we could, well, I mean, sorry, not we could. We should make a final, if you're an anti-hero, you're a villain. Or if you're an anti-hero, you're a hero. Obviously, some people will toe the line, which we can make. I mean, it's our thing, so we could be like, yeah, he's an anti-hero, but he's like, yeah, Deadpool could be an anti-hero, but he's a hero.
He's a hero though. He's an anti-hero.
Like Venom's an anti-hero, but I like him as a villain. So let's make him a villain.
He's a villain to me.
I want to see Spider-Man versus Venom.
Yeah, I do too. I want to see Carnage kind of jump him a little bit.
And then I was gonna say in the Marvel villains final, I want to see Venom versus Carnage. I want to see it.
I want to see it.
Yeah, but I know Carnage is another one. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of them. There's gonna be a lot of them. I feel like a lot of them that are known from Spider-Man, because if you know the comics, that's where a lot of big villains were announced. Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. That's why Galactus and Doctor Doom, those are Fantastic Four. But like, you know, Venom, Carnage, Mysterio, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, those are obviously all
okay.
Are all Spider-Man.
Sitting here thinking, Schnabel, right? Okay. If they are doing Fantastic Four, they have to do Silver Surfer too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Silver Surfer should be in. Same with Galactus, because so if Silver Surfer is in it, I'll break this down for you really quick. All right, if Silver Surfer is in it, because just because they're doing Fantastic Four doesn't mean Silver Surfer is going to be in it. Silver Surfer was the person that seeked out worlds for Galactus before turning on him. I'm pretty sure. Now, don't quote me on this because I just started the new Silver Surfer comic series. I just picked it up the other day, but I don't remember the old ones as well. I did read them. My Marvel love comes from reading Marvel comics as a kid. I'm one of those people that actually read Marvel comics as a kid and then got really addicted to it. And then the movies started coming out and got really addicted to it. Then the MCU came out and it's like, okay, it's a wrap. Anyway, so that's why. So if you see Fantastic Four, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see the Silver Surfer. I know he was in like the Fantastic Four movies for Fox, but they're not directly related. But if you see the Silver Surfer, it guarantees we will see Galactus 100%. So if we get Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer shows up, we will see. And I don't know if you guys saw Shang-Chi, but at the end of that, there's something they're monitoring. And the big rumor is that's Galactus coming.
That means I like the Silver Surfer.
I do too. Like I said, I just picked up the issue 1 of Silver Surfer versus Thanos. I'm pretty excited for that. Silver Surfer is an awesome character. Have you read King in Black yet?
Mm-mm.
King in Black is the new Venom. It's coming off the Venom series, the Donny Cates, I think his name is. He's like one of the best writers at Marvel. I can't remember his name. He did the Venom series, and he's wrapping it up with King in Black. And at the end, Venom takes Mjolnir, and he takes Silver Surfer's thing, which you have to be worthy to have both of them, and he combines them together. Oh, it's so sick. It is so sick. I highly recommend reading it. It's a 5-issue miniseries. I can send you the link to it if you want. It is so good. It is so good. Anyway, we're getting way off topic with that. So Silver Surfer will be there. Galactus should be in the what's it called? In the villains, by the way. But if you see Silver Surfer in any MCU coming up, it guarantees you're going to see Galactus, which is the big rumor of who the next villain is Galactus, Eater of Worlds.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a couple other one of my favorites. I love Doc Ock. Doc Ock's my favorite Marvel villain. Really? I think we talked about that in one of the last ones that like I liked him in Spider-Man, but I wish he was more villainous because he is my favorite villain. He's just so smart and he can outsmart anybody. And but anyway, I talked for too long on my part. So Chelsea, you want to go next on your Marvel villains that you hope to see or your favorites or something?
I was definitely gonna say Thanos. I mean, I've never read the comics, so I can't say anything for like Doctor Doom, but Thanos has done the most impact. I mean, yikes! It's not. I don't even have to describe it. Everything. I was also gonna say Mysterio. I mean, he's the big reason why Peter is where Peter is, and Doctor Strange, did all that stuff and everything that happened. So I mean. That's I'm hoping to see him.
That's one thing I feel is going to sway that especially the Marvel, definitely the Marvel side are the movies. I think Mysterio should also be in there, and I also think Thanos should be in there. Like I said, Thanos was a big bad in the comics, but like before the MCU, like people look at him as the biggest villain because he was the big villain in the 10-year saga of the Infinity series. But I feel like the movies are going to sway it a lot because like Kingpin probably should be top 4 or 5. He's like one of the most known villains in Marvel if you read the comics, but like just because he was just introduced to the MCU, so people really don't know who he is. Like if you were voting on it, people would probably put him towards the bottom of the list, But anyway, I also love Mysterio. I love him in the comics. He's so great in the comics. He's a visual effects artist in the comics. That's how he does all the stuff he does, which is basically what he does in the movie with the drones. So it's like really close. And Jake Gyllenhaal killed it in the movie too. Like he was so good. So those are two I'd probably say are going to be on there. Both of them. Mysterio might be a little more on the fence just because he's very Spider-Man oriented. But I have a feeling. Kyle, what you got for us?
My favorite Marvel villains, definitely Magneto. I wish Magneto had his own movie too, because
you might be getting that soon enough. So now that the MCU owns that,
I want Magneto, Green Goblin. Okay, I just have to double back from before I went to sleep on air, but Green Goblin, man, is a dog, man. Like Green Goblin is just a dog. Hobgoblin was cool. But I'm more of a Green Goblin. I really like Green Goblin. I really like Sandman.
Sandman, I don't think Sandman would make the list though.
Nah, but I just had to give him an honorable mention because he was a great villain. Scarecrow. I like Scarecrow.
Scarecrow's DC, is he not?
Yeah, he's DC, but I just wanted to shout DC out. Come on now. I'm always gonna throw a DC a bone, man. Come on, man. I do it every
First of all, we talked about the Batman for like 20 minutes. Also, the next episode, we're going to get there's not going to be Marvel. It's going to be DC oriented. So,
and you know what I might do just to keep it even? I might throw into the Marvel just to.
Okay. I expect it now, actually.
You know what I'm saying? Put it in my notes. But nah, them the only ones that I'm really like excited about.
I feel like two people we talked about have to be in your top. Venom and Carnage.
Well, yeah, Venom and Carnage, because we already talked about them.
Are you a big Hulk fan?
Yeah, I do like
Hulk. So is Abomination up there for you?
No, because to me, he was nothing but I mean, he was cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad villain. He's a great villain. But me, I was just always just like, yeah, you look like you just came out the septic tank.
Yeah, in the movie, they did not do really justice.
Gravitate to it. Just because, since I like Hulk, Abomination, it just seemed just an abomination.
Yeah. So, it's too bad Universal won't give MCU the rights to just do their own Hulk movie. Be great.
No, because Schnabel, I really want a Planet Hulk movie.
That's gone now. Planet Hulk was Ragnarok. We didn't get to see any of it. It just happened before Ragnarok happened. That was Planet Hulk. Like, that was the storyline where he becomes the warrior, he gets a family, and he finds out the Avengers cast him off. That was Planet Hulk.
We can double back. We can double back.
Marvel does not do that.
I know, Schnabel, but you know how great that would have been to watch Hulk just rage in an arena?
Yes, it really, in the arena, you know how great it would have been when he finally finds out and he comes back to Earth and just rages through the Avengers?
Yes.
Like you did in the comic?
Like, bro, you could have a 3-part, like you could literally have a whole series of just Planet Hulk.
Yeah. But it's really Universal's fault. They only let him in sidekick basically roles. They don't let him do the feature films anymore.
All right, quick question, just about all of
last
these. Last question.
Kyle.
Okay.
I called on you. You don't need to raise your hand.
Sorry. So,
still raised your hand.
So I understand that, they want to make as much money as possible. Yeah. But if they want to make as much money as possible, I'm fleshing out every single story.
Well, see, hold on. I don't think that's Marvel's goal. I think now they make so much money, but I don't think their goal of the movies is to make as much. It's not like, and not to diss DC, but that is what DC seems to do. DC seems to be like, let's make as much as possible on this movie. And that's why they've been bad. Yeah. They've been bad with some exceptions. Like one of my favorite DC movies is Shazam. I love Shazam.
It was great. I did like it.
So good.
Good.
Anyway, but Marvel isn't there. If Marvel was like that, they wouldn't have started with Iron Man, someone nobody knew, that nobody really cared about until the movies. They took a risk on Iron Man to start it off, and it paid off, obviously, in big time, where they made hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. If they wanted to make as much money as they can, they would have started with Spider-Man. They would have found a way to start with Spider-Man, because that's the money grabber in Marvel, right? Mm. They didn't. They brought out that, and they brought out Captain America is a pretty big money. It would be a big money getter for them, and Thor, and the movies that they started with just weren't, and the people that they started with, like Falcon, they brought the Avengers together. Obviously, they started with all the Avengers, but like Hawkeye, like these are people that they all started with.
True.
So I actually don't think that. Yes, those movies are going to make a lot of money because of what they are, but I don't think they are all about the money grab, because that's not what the money grab would be. If they were all about the money grab, we would have 12 Spider-Men by now. We would be on Spider-Man 12, and they would all be terrible, and he would be versing the worst villains or whatever. Like, I think they're about making really quality. They're making the quality movie that fits into a really long timeline that they can connect all the movies to later. And this is where you get the money grab. So later on, you want to go back and watch, and if you want to do that, you have to watch all of them because they all connect in some way.
Which makes sense, but I'm just biased, man. I just wish we could have seen that.
I know, I understand.
Movies,
I'm just saying, if you want to talk about movies, I picked right.
A three movie series of Planet Hulk would be beautiful.
It'd be so good.
Think about it, bro. You can have the one where he's on the planet, then two.
One where he's cast off, two where he's on, three where he comes
back. He wakes the Avengers. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm there every time at 3 a.m. on the matinee.
But it ain't there. It ain't happening. They've already passed that part of the story. Hopefully they do something good with the Hulk. But that's going to do it for us today. We went on for pretty long today. This is going to be one of our longer episodes, but we covered a lot. We covered everything, almost. Not everything. We did cover a lot. But if you want to watch any or listen to any episode, you can go on YouTube, find us there, Sketching Up. You can find us if you just look up Sketching Up on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, wherever it is, Spotify. What else? Google, iHeartRadio, all of them, wherever you find them, go there, look up Sketching Up, and you will find our podcast there. Yeah, that's where you find us. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll try to answer them the best we can. Any last words from anybody before we wrap this baby up?
Batman.
Okay.
Batman. GTA 6, let's go. Oh yes, excited.
And I guess I'll say Pokemon and Nintendo. We just wrapped up the entire thing in 3 words. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you again in about 2 weeks, something like that. Thanks for listening.
Something like that.
Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.
Bye guys.